Jeremy, I'm sharing the salesbread mantra secret with you today, and then we're going to talk about it
which
because
is give me money, I
fired
give you leads.
up. uh, it's different. It's different.
Oh,
I
what
like
is
that
it?
one.
What is
Got a
it?
ring. No, I'll preface it with I I wanted to make it a podcast episode today because I think it's helpful for putting yourself in the right mindset when you go about creating your own campaign. I'm talking to you, the listener. Um, Without further ado, this is it. The easier it is to build your list, the harder it is to get a reply. And I want to talk about it, but you got to throw that 10-minute timer on so I don't get a sidetrack because this is list building, prospect research, my jam of jams.
Yeah, we may be there for 5 hours otherwise. So
No, no, no.
let me just, well, because this is your expertise here, and you like to talk about it. So if it's easy for me to build a list, let's say I'm in, Apollo or whatever, kind of for the tool, I just want companies between 50 and 100 people. I want the CEO or whatever, press boom, get my list, and it says it's going to be hard to get replies because it's too easy to build. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily it's hard to get replies because it was too easy, but just think about where you just put yourself when pull up your tool du jour and go ahead and spend, I mean,
6 minutes.
no, it's like the tools really make it known that you could build a list of thousands of prospects in minutes, and you can.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you, if you take that approach, you're going to have a really hard time getting replies. And this opens up a new way to think about your list where it's like, I know the filters: United States, UK, industry, manufacturing.
You got it. 6,000 people.
50 to 200 employees. And then, yeah, like let's do managing director and CEO. And that took no time, but it means that something is missing in order to have a jam up campaign. You're not going to hit a home run with that. And I'm ignoring all the exceptions here where you're a magician who does shows on Zoom, and every company during COVID needed some way to rally the troops, and maybe you got 20% replies because there was weird stuff going. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you when you're aware, painfully aware that it's not a walk in the park to get the right buyer to reply to you and say, let's talk. That's hard work. And
Jack,
it
Jack,
starts
Jack,
with that
y-
list.
you're just overthinking it. Like today, that's gonna blow your mind. One guy told me that they're perfectly fine as a company. They're doing super well with outreach, and the ratio lead contacted or people contacted to lead is 14,000 to 1. They're happy to contact 14,000 people to get one lead, meaning that person say, yes, I'm interested. That's blowing your mind, right?
It's not by mine. It's like I'm laughing because like something
So
is
they need a tool like
clearly
that that
moved.
can just click and get them 14,000 at least.
Okay, watch this. Watch this. Ready? A good luck continuing to find market in 2 years
That's
because
right.
there's not that many professionals in most countries.
Come
Whatever.
on, every year
And
there is new
and,
professional
and
entering
B,
the market.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. And B, imagine how much more fun sales would be at that company if they said, wow, when we send 250, we got one, really good call out of this. I mean, and so it just takes a shift from the. So what does that actually mean? Does it mean you have to cancel your Zoom Info subscription? Maybe, but no. It just means that if you're struggling and you're sitting here and people every day the safely every week somebody comes to salesbread saying, hey, I'm trying to get this thing to work. More often than not, it was smooth sailing. They got the tool, they got the inbox, they got the LinkedIn sales advocate. You build the list, and then when the message hits the person, there's like this realization, like, oh, it was
It
going so
sucks.
well. What
Doesn't
happened? And
work.
so I think, watch, like I had this epiphany, Jeremy, uh, where it was like, hey, you don't actually need to change your pitch, your setup, your tech stack, your offer, nothing. just what if you found better people like that and that would care more? And so I'll give you an example.
Mm.
Imagine we've talked about this whew, way back. You may not, or you may remember it, but I'm gonna like I'm gonna gray out the company name. But there was a company that was sending a cold email to get webinar attendees, which is a hard pitch in
Mm.
the beginning.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
it's
tough.
hard.
Mm.
Okay, and so at first they were sending it to every marketer in a particular industry, in the SaaS
Because
space, whatever.
everyone can be interested, right?
Because yeah, like the temptation is, well, they might need
Yeah,
us.
they might.
Let's include that.
You
And
never
might is
know.
a really dangerous word. Okay. So they they found 10,000 marketers, got valid email addresses, fired away, and it felt like an uphill battle to
Mhm.
get just one of them to say they were interested. Okay. Now forget the 10,000 list of marketers. And all they changed was we said, look, go over to Cura and you see this subtopic where it says blank, like this is the topic your webinar's on, and there's
Ah,
140
clever.
people there. Can you go? Let's go grab those 140 people, and maybe out of 140, we'll get 80 valid email addresses. Let's send that same message to these folks. Don't even worry about personalization. And all of a sudden, they're getting lots and lots of the replies they were after. All they did was they
Mm.
focused on a different problem, which was how do we build a sharper list? And so please, like I'm on top of my soapbox saying the easier it is to build your list, the harder it will be to get a reply. So the like the projects that come to SalesBread that are the most fun, profitable, engaged, reward, they all start with a really tricky list to build, Jeremy. Like
Mm.
imagine, okay, great, marketers of these companies are cool, but Jack, like these companies have to be selling a service to these kinds of accounts. Like, can you find us brands that have worked with Pepsi before?
Mm. 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 Mm.
Yeah, I can, but and
There's no
basically,
filter in Apollo for doing that.
thank you. Thank you. That's well said. It's
But
like it's the best filter is the one that's not available for
that's
every
so
Tom, Dick, and
true.
Harry to click through and say, great, these are my good buyers. Here we go. Those are the ones that you're going to really either struggle or you need to back that up with the world's greatest offer, or
Mm.
you just need to go the volume route and good luck.
So, what do you think of that? I mean, one of the recent addition of those tools that get your list are buyer intent. And some of them are like simple, like, hey, people just
Yeah.
started, advertising and stuff like that. And of course, this list will be hit by everyone, but it does
Hmm.
actually fit some use cases and some
I
campaigns, right?
look, I think the theory is amazing, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
love the idea of intent-based triggers. I'm just not seeing it outperform my own intent base. So I'm glad you brought that up. So whenever I approach this, the next question is, okay, great. Well, like, what are we going to do to build a better list? So to that, I say you can't always see the fire, but you can sometimes see the smoke. And what is the smoke that we can see in order to indicate? And the fact, oh, well, they got these logos on their account, or oh, these keywords appear, or oh, we see that, and it's not something that Bombora is going to feed you with intent. Like that could be cool. I'm optimistic down the road. I want to see more data coming in for intent, but
Mm,
I think right now, savvy founders of companies, savvy marketers, savvy VP sales, they're able to tell their team, like, let's go find the smoke signal that's going to lead us to the buyers, even if there's fewer of them that are going to resonate with our message, and they have more fun. They get more positive replies. They get more of those positive replies to book a meeting, and
yeah,
because they look for the smoke, they're more qualified buyers, and it's just better. Like this is really like if you ever look at cold outreach and you're like, oh, this is a pain. I'm just going to give it away because I don't want to. It's because you're not doing the things that would make it so fun. Like, what if you just had a list of people that kind of needed you sooner than later? I mean, you'd like to show up and do that work, right? So build hard lists.
different dynamics for sure.
So did I make a compelling point? Anything you'd push back on? We're at a minute, so I can just
No,
do
I
that.
agree. It's just like it's so easier to just point and click and get your list. And I think one of the
But I would argue it's harder, Jeremy.
but I agree with you. I agree with you. Like
It's
I do
easier
like
to eat a
100%.
donut
But I
than it
think
is, you know?
I think there's a bit of, I wouldn't say necessarily vanity, but it's like reassuring, like, oh yeah, but we contacted 1,000 people, right? If you go and say, I contacted only hundreds, I was like, what the fuck you been doing this week? You know what I mean? And it
Oh,
could still be the
so glad
same
you brought
number of
that.
replies, but it's like, I think people are sort of like getting hung up on the wrong metric, right?
And
Wouldn't
then,
you agree?
so then if you are a sales team leader, marketing leader that is judging your team first on the output and not on the, sorry, what is it? First on the input, not the output, I would worry,
Yeah.
right? So step one is just look at the top performers. Like if they're getting it done, great. They require very little interaction from you. But I think it's those that are struggling that may need a different approach. And if you haven't tried a more careful, um, harder list building effort, that's step one to really make this thing enjoyable and profitable in my book.
I would agree.
Fair. All right.
Don't need to convince me about this. You know, it makes
Well, hopefully,
sense.
yeah.
We have a good reply rate, and we are very low volume. I mean, I've always been like low volume, high reply rate. Even for quick mail can actually do very well with high level, you know, high volume.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's what I prefer as well.
Right on. Well, if you enjoyed the cast, head over to salesbread.com. You heard the whole thing was a pitch for Salesbread, basically. But thank
Yeah,
you,
he's.
Jeremy.
I mean, every time I need to think and brainstorm about lists and stuff like that, I know who to call. You know, who do
But
you call? Mm, 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 mm,
eh,
mm, mm, mm,
no,
mm,
but like
mm, mm, mm.
that's where it all starts. You having a hard time? You
Call
probably been.
sales bread. Da, 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 da.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right. Well, then that's it for me. You got me going now. I'm having to pump the brakes, but thank you. Please, like if you listen to this and you have a good reason to push back, send us an email. That's podcast@quickmail.io. I'd love to hear from you. Check out salesbread.com. Get in touch direct. I'll weigh in because this is
That's right.
an idea close to home here. So
Good,
anyways,
good luck convincing Jack that you need 14,000 leads of prospect in order to get one lead. Anyway, thanks
thank
for the
you, Jeremy.
cast, Jack, and I'm looking forward to the next prospecting topic on the cast.
I'll have it ready. All right. See you, man.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.